We've been talking about the market and how it is for those who are looking to downsize, go from that big family home that they've been in for 25 years. The kids are all gone, they're empty nesters, and now they say we need something small. And a lot of people looking for bungalows or condos, but they haven't been on the market. They haven't moved out of a house or bought a new house in maybe 25 years, and now they've got to start all over again. So let's talk a little bit about what it's like to be on the market again for people like that.
Well, and that's a really good point, because we're finding more and more people who, unlike our generation where we have a tendency to move every 5 or 7 years, the fact is that the baby boomers have been in their homes for 25 plus years a lot of times, at least 15, and that's a significant amount of time. And so the market, the conditions and the vibration of the whole real estate here in Ottawa is very different than it was back then. So sometimes we just need to sit down. I sit down with my sellers all the time and saying, this is what it's like to be on the market. Currently, right now, we're in a seller's market. So it's definitely not the faint of heart when it comes to finding that home. And a lot of times we hope that they can actually buy first rather than sell first, because most of the time we can sell their home in a week or less.
Wow.
And so it's important that we make sure that they're not homeless. In the meantime, as well as that, it can be a little overwhelming with how the market is run right now. Depending on their particular home, it may be one of those situations where we have to walk them through what it's like to be in a multiple offer scenario, which is where, there are more than 1, 2, and oftentimes in this current market, we have anything from 8 to 20 offers literally on one particular home.
Wow.
So that can be very overwhelming when someone hasn't been in the market for 25 years.
And then you have homes that have gathered stuff.
Yes.
Stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff for those 25 years. And it's probably all stuff that's very precious to them. But if you want to get your home ready for sale, you can't have all that stuff around, can you?
No, and, we all have our stuff. We all don't live on, on the perfect magazine cover. Let's be honest. Even, the best stagers, I've gone to their homes, and they have stuff. And you have grandkids who are possibly visiting, and you have all those travel paraphernalia, and you have all the stuff that grandkids have brought and kids and everything else. So we all have our stuff. But at the end of the day, we are now in a mental state where we need to get the home ready to sell. And so it's not personal, because again, we all have our stuff, yet, we are planning to pack anyway. So if there's anything that you absolutely want to keep, then pack it away, and pack it away safe. But if you are downsizing, maybe it's time to have those hard conversations. Say, if I've had this in a box for 10 years, maybe
do we really need that sombrero if we got from Mexico on that trip in 1992 anymore? I mean, it's just collecting dust in the basement anyways. So then it becomes a matter of, once they start getting rid of some of that stuff, getting the staging process ready to sell that family home. And that's a whole other part of the conversation. There's things you have to get rid of, and then you have to make your home look presentable to as wide of an audience as you can.
And that can be personally hard for a lot of people. And I don't want people to take it personally. It's the fact that we are there to sell your home now. And so depending on where your headspace is at, there's 2 components. If you don't want to do some of the staging is literally, as we refer to as decluttering.
Right.
Some of the staging might be literally me sitting down with you and saying, look, do you want to do some upgrades? Because it might be worth looking at that as part of the staging in order to add equity to the home.
We have some photos we can look at right now that show the before and after process of staging.
Yes.
Here's a look at a kitchen. That needs a little work, doesn't it?
It does, but let's be honest, we all have kitchens like this.
Yeah.
We're all busy, and even if there are only 2 people in the home, the fact is that our counters are our landing ground for stuff that we don't know we use every day or we don't put away. Now, this is the extreme case because obviously someone had, a dinner party.
Left all the dishes out.
But at the same time, when I look at a kitchen like this and someone wants to really add value to their home, it's not only taking the stuff off the counters, but it might be saying, you know what, for a minimal amount of money, maybe we need to change the handles, right? This is the same kitchen, but instead they've actually just changed out the doors.
That's it?
They've changed out the doors and they've changed the counters.
That's all they did, and took
Really,
everything off the counters.
and took everything off
And
the
look how
counters.
much bigger it looks.
And so it's something, and then in this particular case, you know, we could add another $20,000 to the home.
Wow.
So it's a matter of just figuring out, you know, I'm dealing with a seller actually this afternoon, and he's been in this wonderful sought after neighborhood in the center of Stittsville, and they've lived in the home, and it's a warm home, but they still have the original carpets and stuff. It shows well. But his headspace is, I'm okay with taking a little bit less, and letting someone else choose the hardwood and stuff like that. And so he's not listing in the high numbers that we could get him. He's okay with that. So,
And that's the conversation that you have to have with that realtor, right?
Absolutely.
And those questions you have to ask yourself. And the realtor would know how to guide you along that route as well.
absolutely, and it's a matter of time frame. You know, if you're trying to get into that smaller home, you know, before you know, September, when the kids go, you know, your grandkids go to school, or the fact that you want to take a tour to Italy, this, you know, it depends on the timeline. So I always try and get my clients to work with us 8 months in advance at least.
Okay, good information. If you have any questions, get them ready. We're going to take a quick break here on CTV Morning Live, but Colleen is around to take your questions. Our phone number is 789-6559, extension 2803, ottawa.morning@ctv.ca. If you want to email us that question, I can ask it on your behalf.